Hello, everybody. Today, our group will be presenting our analytic comparison between VMware, Docker, and Oracle VM VirtualBox as virtual machines. Our group consists of Michael Matthew Muliawan, Rico, Herald, Cenniago, and I, Jason Darel. So, what is virtual machine? The rapid development of technology has made virtualization technology a critical component in modern computing systems. Virtualization technology can effectively separate hardware and software resources, enabling efficient allocation of computer resources such as CPU, memory, network interface, and storage. Not only did it optimize resource utilization, but it also increased flexibility and scalability. Virtualization can be achieved using virtual machines, which are VMs. Virtual machines are a computing environment that can isolate systems, where each isolated system will have its own resources that are allocated from the host computer. The isolated system can also have its own different operating system from the host computer. VMs allow multiple operating systems to run simultaneously within a single device, such as Windows as an operating system for the host computer and Linux for the isolated system created by the virtual machine. Virtual machines are important because they provide numerous benefits for modern computing environments. They enable optimized resource allocation by allowing multiple systems to run concurrently in a single device, which has the potential of reducing hardware cost and increasing operational efficiency. Virtual machines can be used in many ways, such as creating an environment for testing and development of software, cloud computing, and creating scalable and flexible computing environments for various applications. Virtual machines are used in many software development processes and businesses because of how they benefit them. However, there are many virtual machines that exist today, and many of them have different purposes and their own benefits, which makes it important for us to choose the correct VM before starting a project. We will be comparing three different VMs, which are VMware, Docker, and Oracle VM VirtualBox. We will be comparing them based on performance, flexibility, scalability, cost, features, security, compatibility, and etc. So, what is a virtual machine? Virtual machines are computing environments. The main purpose of using a virtual machine is to create an isolated system. This isolated system will have its own CPU, memory, network interface, and storage that is allocated from hardware resources, like I said earlier. The host is the computer device that the virtual machine is installed in. The virtual machine is the guest. The host will allocate part of its own resources to the guest. The allocated resources will be responsible for managing the isolated system and act as the system's resources. This will separate the resources that is used by the host and the guest, making each system to be its own independent environment. The process of allocating resources for virtual machines is called virtualization. Virtualization is the virtual delivery of computational resources to the end user. A critical software that is used in virtualization is hypervisor. Hypervisor translates hardware functionality by creating and managing virtual machines and stimulating a virtual environment. Hypervisor is the software that is responsible for isolating necessary computing resources to multiple virtual environments, effectively managing and allocating resources. Virtual machines allow the use of multiple OS in a single computer device. Each virtual environment can have its own operating system and computing resources available for use. The architecture of virtual machines is shown in the picture here, and multiple virtual machines can share the same host. Each VM can create virtualization by allocating enough computational resources from the host. Each virtual machine can have a different OS, and VM itself is a logical machine that has similar architecture to the host machine. Depending on the guest OS, VM allows users to create, copy, save, read and modify, share, migrate, and roll back execution states of machines with all the ease of manipulating a file. This creates flexibility and provides value for users and administrators. Now we go on to the first example of the virtual machine, which is VMware. What is VMware? VMware is a popular virtual machine utilizing a Type 2 hypervisor that operates on a x86 processor. It supports both Windows and Linux as host systems with guest operating systems options including Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and Unix-based systems. It employs a hasted I/O model leveraging the host OS for visualizing input and output devices. So what are the advantages? Well, VMware provides portability and application consistency, and it also delivers near native performance for compute-intensive workloads. Now, VMware has high performance but lower throughput compared to Docker. It handles hardware access requests via emulation, which can slow down tasks requiring frequent hardware interaction. It also has excellent performance for non-privileged tasks like arithmetic and data processing due to the native CPU execution. VMware also has moderate performance on system-level benchmarks. It is memory efficient. Design results in slower overall performance compared to Docker, and VMware is also designed for full OS virtualization, supporting multiple independent OS on the same hardware. Now we go on to the second virtual machine, which is Docker. Docker is a container for virtualization technology. It focuses on application level virtualization rather than full system virtualization, which makes it lightweight and portable. It also uses a client server model with Docker Engine as the central component. The client communicates with Docker daemon, which is the server, via a REST API to manage containers. There are a few features of Docker. First, containers run directly on the host OS, sharing the host kernel while maintaining isolated file systems and processes. Each container is built from a Docker image, which is a read-only template containing all the dependencies, tools, and code required for the application. Docker files define the instructions to build Docker images, ensures consistent performance across environments by bundling applications and dependencies into portable containers. It's ideal for microservices, cloud-native applications, and software development, ensuring uniform behavior across diverse contexts. And Docker has a few advantages. First one being lightweight. Containers share the host OS kernel, reducing resource overhead compared to traditional virtual machines. Fast deployment, quick setup, and scaling capabilities. Isolation, it has enhanced security and stability due to the isolated environments, and portability, uniform operation across multiple environments. Also has a few limitations. Complexity, managing multiple containers at a scale requires external orchestration tools, limited OS support. It is primarily designed for Linux with less effective support for Windows, and a performance overhead with some resources overhead compared to running applications directly on the host OS, particularly with the input-output processes.
For our final example, we have Oracle VM VirtualBox. VirtualBox is an open source virtualization platform developed by Oracle. It allows multiple operating systems to run simultaneously on a single physical machine. The platform is compatible with a variety of host operating systems, including Windows, macOS, Linux, and Solaris, making it flexible for supporting a wide range of guest environments. VirtualBox is widely known for being free to use, having an easy-to-use interface and flexibility. VirtualBox has several key features in the application, which includes snapshots, shared folders, and networking configurations. There are several benefits to using VirtualBox. The first one is that VirtualBox is distributed as a free and open source application. Secondly, it features a user-friendly interface and is suitable for smaller-scale virtualization needs. Thirdly, it also offers flexible compatibility with both guest and host OS. Limitations. VirtualBox can struggle with resource-intensive workloads due to the virtualization layer overhead. And while VirtualBox is well suited for personal and smaller scale use, it is less optimized for enterprise scale virtualization. Now we're going to cover a comparison between the three aforementioned technologies. For the type of virtualization, VMware and VirtualBox are both Type 2 hypervisors. Docker, on the other hand, focuses on container virtualization. For I/O performance, VMware offers relatively great throughput, although it is lower than Docker. Docker has a high throughput and near-native performance. VirtualBox delivers moderate I/O performance, falling behind both VMware and Docker. Looking at CPU performance, VMware provides near-native performance and is suitable for compute-intensive tasks. Docker can offer slightly better CPU performance than native execution. VirtualBox delivers CPU performance similar to VMware for light workloads, but struggles under heavy compute-intensive tasks. When it comes to memory usage, VMware has moderate memory consumption more than Docker. Docker stands out with low memory usage due to its shared kernel architecture, and VirtualBox has high memory consumption and consumes more than Docker and VMware. For cost factor, VMware offers a free version for non-commercial use, but requiring a paid license for advanced features. Docker is free and open source for its community edition. VirtualBox is also free and open source, though it offers additional paid extensions. In terms of ease of use, VMware is more advanced than Docker and VirtualBox, but still remains beginner-friendly. Docker is designed for simple deployment, making it particularly ideal for developers. VirtualBox boasts a user-friendly interface, making it well-suited for beginners. For platform compatibility, VMware supports both Windows and Linux host OS, with macOS support available through VMware Fusion. It's also compatible with a wide variety of guest OS. Docker is compatible with a variety of host OS, and VirtualBox supports Windows, macOS, Linux, and Solaris host OS, along with a variety of guest OS. For security, VMware offers strong isolation for guest OS. Docker, being lightweight, may offer less security because it depends on the host OS for isolation. Lastly, VirtualBox provides moderate isolation in comparison to VMware. When it comes to resource isolation, VMware offers strong isolation between environments. Docker, on the other hand, has weaker isolation due to the containers sharing the same host kernel, while VirtualBox provides moderate isolation between environments. For snapshots, VMware and VirtualBox both support snapshots and rollbacks. Docker, however, does not support snapshots. And finally, when considering their primary use case, VMware is primarily used for creating enterprise environments, full OS virtualizations, and for tests like testing and deployment. Docker excels in lightweight application virtualization, making it perfect for microservices and cloud-native deployments. VirtualBox is suited for general-purpose use, such as development and testing environments. Next, we're going over the strengths and weaknesses of each virtualization technology. First, we're going to talk about the strengths of each technology. For VMware, VMware excels in full OS virtualization. It is ideal for enterprise-level environments with secure and isolated setups, handles compute-intensive tasks and large workloads efficiently, and has a strong isolation between host and guest OS. Next is Docker. Docker provides the best performance overall due to its lightweight container-based virtualization. It also provides near-native performance for application-level isolation. This makes it ideal to be used in microservice, cloud-native applications, and scenarios that require portability, fast deployment, and efficient resource usage. For VirtualBox, VirtualBox stands out for its excellent platform compatibility. It has user-friendly interface, making it suitable for beginners, and offers moderate memory usage with robust networking and snapshot features. Now we're going to talk about the weaknesses of each technology. First is VMware. VMware suffers from a higher overhead due to the need to handle privileged instructions. Additionally, it also has weaker performance compared to Docker, particularly for I/O-intensive tasks. For Docker, it relies on a host kernel, which leads to weaker isolation and security compared to full virtualization technologies. Docker is also not suitable for creating highly isolated and secure environments. And lastly, VirtualBox. Its performance is weaker in resource or compute-intensive tasks. VirtualBox also lags behind VMware and Docker in overall efficiency and scalability. Moving on to the conclusion section, let's summarize the key takeaways from this presentation. To begin, virtual machines are computing environments that enable virtualization by creating multiple isolated systems with allocated resources on a single host device. VMware stands out as the most suitable choice for enterprise-level virtualization, offering high performance and the ability to create secure, fully isolated environments that can handle heavy workloads efficiently. Docker excels in terms of superior performance. However, it's less secure due to its reliance on a host kernel, making it best suited for application-level virtualization, microservices, and cloud-native applications. VirtualBox offers lower performance compared to both VMware and Docker, but remains versatile and user-friendly, making it a great option for general-purpose use and smaller-scale tasks.
Okay, so now we're going to show you how to use a VMware. So first of all, we need to install it first. If you haven't installed it, just go to your browser and then type VMware install. Here, you should choose the official website, which is the VMware.com. Just choose the link. And then and in the homepage, there should be a button that will redirect us to the actual website that we need to download. So just click the button. Now we're going to be redirected to the broadcom.com website, and then in the homepage we should choose go to the My Dashboard menu. Just click it. Now in here there's a search bar where we can search the VMware. So we're just going to type VMware Workstation. Now there's two types of VMware. There's a Workstation, which is the player, and the Pro. I'm just going to choose the Pro one. So in here we should be redirected to a page where there's a link to where we can download it. It should be around here. Yeah, there you go. There's a link, and then just click it, and then we'll be redirected to this page. Now in this page, just scroll to the bottom and then go to the reference part. There's actually two links that we can choose. First of all is for Windows and Linux, the first link, which is Workstation Pro, and then the Fusion one, which is for Mac. Now since I use Windows, I'm going to choose this link. So now we're back to the broadcom.com, and then it should allow us to choose a various option for Workstation Pro. I'm just going to use the latest version for Windows. And then now we can actually start downloading it. So in this page, we can download from the button. Just click this button, and then it should start downloading. So I'm going to cancel it because I already downloaded the VMware product. But if you haven't, just download it first. Okay, so now we actually installed this program right here. Just open it and then click yes, and then it should open us this program where we can actually start setting up our workstation, VMware workstation. There we go. This is the VMware Workstation Pro setup. If you want to install it, just click next. But since I already installed it, it won't allow me to install it anymore. So I'm just going to cancel it. But if you haven't installed, just install it first. So now what we're going to do is actually download the OS, because if you're using VMware or any other virtual machine, we actually need to install the OS first, or download it first, then we install it in the virtual machine. So just go to another tab and then just type get Kali Linux. So what is Kali Linux? Kali Linux is actually a Linux distribution, which is its own OS. But it uses a Linux kernel, so it is considered as a Linux distribution. It is usually used for ethical hacking, research purposes, cybersecurity, and also a network testing. So now we're just going to click this link, the official website. And then we're going to choose the installer images one. And then in here, we're going to choose the 64-bit one, the left option, and then just install the recommended one. Just press install, and then it should start installing right now. It might take a while since it's 4 GB. I'm going to cancel it right now because I already actually installed it. So if you already installed it, you can actually see the file in your desktop. Now, there's actually two Linux distribution that is well known, which is the other one is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is actually more beginner friendly. But in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to use Kali Linux. Now, we already installed VMware and download the OS. So what we're going to do now is just open the VMware Workstation Pro. And then if we already in the main menu, we just need create a new virtual machine with this button right here. And then we'll open this menu. Now in this menu, we need to set up our virtual machine. So in this first menu, we just go with the recommended one, press next. And then for here, this is where we can choose our OS. So we can actually use the second option, the install this image file, and then browse. And then we can choose the OS that we downloaded, which is Kali Linux. Open, and then next. Now, for the guest operating system, we can choose Linux, and then for the version, we can choose Ubuntu 64-bit. And then for the name, we can choose, we can name whatever we want, for example, Linux. And then now we can start customizing our resources for our virtual machine. So in this case, the virtual machine will have the maximum disk size of 20 GB. So I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to press next. And then for the customize hardware, we can actually customize it right here with this button. So, and the default one is memory, 4 GB, and the processor is 2. I can change it to 4, and then I can change the number of core per processor to be 2. So once we're already satisfied with our changes, just press close and then finish. So now we already created our new virtual machine. Just press the power on this virtual machine button, and then it will start launching the virtual machine. So this is what the Kali Linux first initialized look like. So first of all, there's a few options. We need to install the graphical install first. Now in here, we need to select the language that we want to use. I'm just going to use English, continue. And then we're going to select our location. So there's no actually Indonesian, so I'm just going to choose Singapore. Continue, and then we can actually configure our keyboard. I'm going to choose American English. Now we need to wait for a little bit to detecting our hardware. So once they finish detecting our hardware, we can configure our network. Now in here, they ask us to type our host name. I'm just gonna leave it as default. And if we are using VMware for a company or a business and we want to have a domain name, we can actually type the domain name. But since we're only using for personal use, I'm just going to leave it empty. Now, this is the important part. We need to register a new user. Otherwise, we cannot log into Kali Linux. So for now, I'm just going to type the username to be my name, Matthew. I'm just going to call it again, Matthew. Now we need to choose our password. I'm just going to type it simply, just 1234, and then my password 1234. Continue. And now it actually starts to configure the cloud. So for this menu, we're just going to choose the guided use entire disk. Just go continue. And then we just continue again. And now for this, we're just going to choose all files. We're just going to press continue again. And then to write the changes to the disk, press yes. And now they will start installing the base system. So once it finished installing the base system, it needs us to select a software. We're just going to choose the default options. Just go continue, and it will start installing the software. So now what we're going to do is to install the grub bootloader. So just press yes, and then press the /dev/sta. Continue. And then now it should install the grub bootloader. So after installing the grub bootloader, we should start to finish the installation process for the entire Linux. And now, since we're finished the installation, just press continue to reboot. Now it will take a while to restart the VMware or the virtual machine. And now we're going to open the menu. So for now, we choose the first menu, or it automatically chooses it for us. Now in this menu, we should enter our username and password that we already registered. So for now, it's Matthew, and then for my password, just login, and then we should be directed to the home page. So this is what Kali Linux looks like. So just to prove that it actually functions as a real operating system, I'm going to open the terminal and create a new file. So I'm just going to say echo, and then I'm going to type hello world, which means echo hello world, and I'm going to save it in the readme.txt. So I'm going to close the terminal, and if we open the home folder, and it should be create the readme.txt, and inside it there's a text that's saying hello world. So if we want to save our state, we can actually just pause the virtual machine, or we can shut down the guest. Now if we shut down guest, it will actually save the virtual machine. So if we power on again, and then it will open the menu again, which is the first menu option, and it will start loading, and it should ask us to enter our username again. So I'm just going to enter it real quick. So there we go. And if we see the home folder, we already created the readme.txt. So that's all for our presentation about the comparison between VMware, Docker, and also VirtualBox, and the tutorial of how to create a new virtual machine that uses a Linux operating system by using VMware. Thank you for listening to our presentation.